Hi everyone. I just wanted to share an encouraging word with you this evening. As we're in the midst of still a continuation of a year that began in March 2020, and we're sitting in the midst and waiting and wondering what's going to happen, wondering whether we're still going to be isolated in some way, or whether things are going to begin to open up even more. And even in the angst of what is happening politically in this nation and the unrest and the uncertainty of moving ahead, we have a choice in where we want to put our focus and where we want to put our energies and where we want to put our time. And as I've been sitting in the story of Peter in the last week, the story where he walked on the water, it was in the midst of waves. There was wind. It was not a calm sea, in which he looks out of the boat and he sees Jesus walking towards him. And as he sees his Lord and Savior, all he wants to do is be with him. And so he tells Jesus, "Call me out to you." And Jesus, of course, says, "Come." And he gets out, he walks out onto the water, he steps out of that boat, and human, right? One of us, Peter steps out onto the water, and it's like his feet are touching solid ground. He doesn't waver, his feet don't stumble. In fact, he is walking straight toward his Lord. He sees him, and he is keeping his gaze steadfast on him, and he is not shaken. He is certain. His feet are anchored. And the moment that he takes his eyes off Jesus and he sees the chaos and the wind and the tumultuous seas around him, he begins to sink. And isn't that like you and I? That when we're consumed by the world, when we're consumed by the circumstances in our lives, when we're consumed by the political uncertainty, when we're consumed by the struggles in our marriage or in our relationships or with our kids or in our church, or there's so many different uncertainties and anxieties and things to be consumed with in life, when we stay in that place, we have no peace. But the moment we choose to turn our gaze to him, the moment we choose to believe that he is enough, we suddenly are overcome with peace that surpasses all understanding. We remember that Jesus, in our greatest weakness, is strong. And so I just want to leave you with a few verses that have encouraged me this week as I have been sitting in that place of how do I be unwavering in the midst of this season. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." There was another storm in the disciples' lives, and it was one which they looked out onto. They were in the boat, and there was a storm going on. It was so bad that they were filled with terror. They were filled with dread, and they were actually convinced that they were going to die. And they wake up Jesus, who was strangely sleeping. He was not disturbed by all of it. And they say to him, don't you care, Lord? Don't you care? We're going to die. And Jesus wakes up and he says, "Peace, be still." Instantly, the waves stopped, the wind stopped blowing, and there was calm stillness over the sea. So I want to encourage you to pray into that place and hear the Lord's voice when he's speaking to your heart and your mind, and he's saying, "Be still. Don't be afraid. Don't be wavering. Don't be uncertain. I am your steadfast place in the midst of the storm. With me, you are unshakable." He carries the victory, friends. He is enough. Be blessed. I'll see you again next time.